In January 2026, a historic transformation will sweep across the United States as 7 more states join the growing movement to eliminate the permit requirement for concealed carry. This means that, for the first time, a significant majority of Americans will live in states where carrying a concealed firearm no longer requires government approval or paperwork. With this change, constitutional carry becomes the law in 36 states, covering nearly 2/3 of the country. The map of America's gun laws is being redrawn before our eyes, reflecting a dramatic shift in the nation's approach to the Second Amendment. This isn't just a minor tweak to existing regulations, it's a fundamental reimagining of how Americans interpret their rights and responsibilities when it comes to firearms. The debate over gun rights and public safety is entering a new, more intense phase, with passionate voices on both sides. Tens of millions of people will be directly affected by these changes, as the boundaries of gun rights are expanded and the conversation about safety and liberty is reignited. For many, this is a moment of celebration; for others, a cause for concern and renewed activism. As permit requirements vanish, the official number of permit holders will drop dramatically, not because fewer people are carrying firearms, but because the paperwork is no longer necessary. The process of obtaining a permit, once a routine part of life for many, will become obsolete in much of the country. This sweeping move will deepen the divide between states that are loosening gun laws and those that are tightening them, setting the stage for new legal battles, heated political debates, and likely challenges that could reach all the way to the Supreme Court. For millions of Americans, this is more than just a headline. It's a profound change that will influence daily routines, personal decisions, and the sense of security within communities for years to come. The impact will be felt in homes, neighborhoods, and public spaces across the nation. As the nation stands at this crossroads, the stage is set for a new era in America's complex and evolving relationship with firearms, one that will shape the country's identity and future in ways we are only beginning to understand. Concealed carry laws in America have undergone a remarkable transformation over the past 2 centuries. In the 19th century, many states imposed strict bans on carrying concealed weapons, reflecting a time when lawmakers believed that limiting access would help maintain public order. Over the decades, these laws shifted in response to changing attitudes about personal safety, self-defense, and the meaning of the Second Amendment. The modern era of concealed carry began in the late 1980s, when Florida passed its groundbreaking shall-issue law. This law required authorities to issue permits to qualified applicants, setting a new standard that quickly spread across the country. The shift was seen as a way to balance the rights of gun owners with the need for public safety, and it sparked heated debates in statehouses and communities nationwide. For decades, most states maintained a system where citizens needed to apply for a permit, undergo background checks, and often complete safety training before carrying a concealed firearm. These requirements were designed to ensure that only responsible, law-abiding individuals could legally carry guns in public spaces. But in the last 15 years, a dramatic shift has taken place. A growing number of states have moved toward permitless or constitutional carry, eliminating the need for permits altogether and allowing most adults to carry concealed firearms without government approval. Supporters of permitless carry argue that the right to bear arms is fundamental and should not be subject to bureaucratic hurdles. They believe that requiring permits infringes on constitutional freedoms and places unnecessary obstacles in the path of law-abiding citizens who wish to protect themselves and their families. Interestingly, Vermont has always allowed permitless carry, setting a quiet example for the rest of the nation long before the current movement gained momentum. In the early 2000s, Alaska and Arizona became the first states to follow Vermont's lead, passing laws that allowed residents to carry concealed firearms without a permit. Their actions marked the beginning of a new era in American gun policy. By 2025, the movement had gained remarkable traction. 29 states had adopted permitless carry, covering nearly half the U.S. population, and signaling a profound shift in the nation's approach to gun regulation. The 2022 Supreme Court Bruin decision further accelerated this trend. By striking down restrictive permit systems, the court emboldened more states to drop permit requirements entirely, reshaping the legal landscape almost overnight. Today, lawmakers in many states argue that permit requirements are an unnecessary burden on law-abiding citizens, and that the government should not stand in the way of individuals exercising their constitutional rights. The result is a fundamental rethinking of the government's role in regulating the right to bear arms, a debate that continues to shape the future of American gun laws. On January 1, 2026, 7 more states will officially join the growing list of permitless carry jurisdictions, marking a significant milestone in the ongoing debate over gun rights in America. This expansion means that, starting on New Year's Day, millions more Americans will experience a fundamental change in how they can legally carry firearms. Under these new laws, any adult who is legally allowed to own a firearm will now be able to carry it concealed in public spaces, without the need for a permit, mandatory training, or prior approval from the state. For many, this represents a dramatic shift in daily life, as the process to carry a concealed weapon becomes as simple as purchasing one. However, it's important to note that federal background checks for gun purchases remain firmly in place. Individuals who are prohibited from owning firearms, such as those with felony convictions or certain mental health restrictions, are still barred from carrying, regardless of state law changes. While the need for a state-issued permit is disappearing for in-state carry, many gun owners will still choose to obtain permits for the sake of reciprocity. This allows them to legally carry their firearms when traveling to other states that recognize their home state's permits. Still, experts predict that overall permit applications and renewals will decline as more states adopt permitless carry. Supporters of the movement are celebrating what they see as a major victory for personal freedom and a restoration of rights guaranteed by the Second Amendment. Rallies and gatherings have been held across the newly affected states, with advocates calling this a historic moment for gun owners. A law-abiding citizen shouldn't have to ask for permission to defend themselves, one legislator said, echoing the sentiments of many lawmakers who supported the change. They argue that responsible gun owners should not face bureaucratic hurdles when exercising their constitutional rights. Critics, however, warn that removing permit requirements could lead to increased risks, including more accidental shootings and challenges for law enforcement. Public debates have intensified, with both sides voicing strong opinions about the potential impact on community safety and individual liberty. The move by these 7 states signals a coordinated effort to expand constitutional carry nationwide, as more legislatures consider similar bills and the national conversation continues to evolve. The legal landscape for gun owners is changing rapidly, and perhaps permanently, as the nation watches to see which states will be next to join the movement. Permitless carry will make it more common to encounter armed citizens in everyday places, grocery stores, parks, restaurants. For some, this is reassuring. For others, it's a source of anxiety. The political divide will deepen, with gun rights groups celebrating and gun control advocates pushing back harder. States will lose revenue from permit fees, but gun retailers and trainers may see a surge in business as new owners seek voluntary training. Law enforcement faces new challenges. Officers can no longer rely on permits to verify who's legally carrying. Police will need new protocols to balance citizens' rights with public safety. The shift will reshape not just laws, but the daily experience of public life. The debate over safety, rights, and responsibility is about to get even more intense. The impact of permitless carry on public safety is hotly debated, with both sides citing conflicting studies. A 2023 Johns Hopkins study found a 32% increase in gun assaults in states that weakened permit laws, linking mandatory training to lower violence. Critics argue that removing permits removes crucial safety standards. Supporters point to a 2025 Crime Prevention Research Center study showing permit holders are exceptionally law-abiding, less likely to commit gun crimes than even police. They argue criminals ignore permit laws anyway, so permits only burden responsible citizens. Each side accuses the other of cherry-picking data and missing the bigger picture. The research war continues, fueling the national divide. Experts are deeply divided on permitless carry. Dr. Cassandra Crafasi of Johns Hopkins argues that strong permitting systems save lives by ensuring background checks and training. She warns that removing these safeguards increases the risk of unintentional shootings and escalated violence. For her, gun violence is a public health crisis, and permits are a proven tool. On the other side, attorney Amy Bellantoni calls permit requirements unconstitutional government overreach. She insists the Second Amendment is a fundamental right, and law-abiding citizens shouldn't be treated like criminals. Bellantoni says the focus should be on punishing violent offenders, not restricting peaceful citizens. Both sides agree, the stakes are high, and the debate is far from settled. The new laws are a flashpoint in America's ongoing struggle over guns and freedom. The face of gun ownership is changing fast. Women and minorities are now the fastest-growing groups seeking concealed carry, challenging old stereotypes. In 2025, women made up nearly 29% of permit holders, with their numbers growing twice as fast as men's. Among minorities, permit acquisition rates have soared, especially among Black and Asian Americans. Many cite personal safety and distrust in state protection as key reasons for arming themselves. This demographic shift is reshaping the gun rights movement, making it more diverse and politically complex. Permitless carry is increasingly championed by a broader cross-section of Americans. The right to self-defense is now a rallying cry for many who once felt excluded from the debate. With 36 permitless carry states, America's gun laws are more fragmented than ever. One can drive from a state with no permit requirement to one with strict bans in a single day. Sensitive places, like parks, stadiums, and public transit, are battlegrounds for new restrictions in some states, while others expand gun rights. Reciprocity is a legal maze. Permits from one state may be useless in another, and permitless carriers face even more confusion. Many still get optional permits just to travel legally. The lack of a national standard means a right in one state can be a felony in the next. Legal battles over these differences are heading for the Supreme Court. Until then, Americans must navigate a confusing patchwork every time they cross a state line. The move to permitless carry in 7 more states marks a turning point in America's gun debate. A supermajority of states now treat the right to carry as fundamental, with no permit required. The focus is shifting from, can you carry, to where can you carry? The nation is split. Most states loosen laws, while a determined minority tightens them. For gun owners, the responsibility for safety and training now falls squarely on the individual. The debate is about balancing liberty with public safety. A story still unfolding. The next chapter will be written in courts, legislatures, and communities across the country. How this shapes America's culture and politics is up to all of us.